Hey guys, we're talking Chad Loves Michelle, episodes 4 and 5. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What up, AfterBuzz? It's your boy DJ Jesse J here in studio. We're talking Chad Loves Michelle. We're gonna start with episode 4 and we'll go into episode 5. I am joined in studio by my lovely ladies. Now we got the group together, honey.
Yes.
This is the official DC3 album, the after show.
Hello.
Okay, we got Miss Conversation Piece in the
I
building.
am here, and I love you just like Chad loves Michelle.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Drew Jones, the Beyonce of this group.
Oh, honey, look, I started it, okay?
Okay, well, I'm Kelly
Look,
then.
Kelly
I'm
and
Michelle.
Michelle. This your show, girl. It's your show.
You're right.
Oh, let's get into it because I think we have a lot of things we're going to agree on. I'm going to start with positive.
Yes.
Chad, the more I watch the show, you have actually become a very handsome and attractive man to me. I have to start with that because I'm going to go in on
He's
you
attractive.
a little bit. I know. I
Also
was
a
back and
caretaker,
forth.
and he was a provider, so that makes him even more attractive.
He's attractive on mute for me. On mute.
We're going to talk about that ministry. And what you cannot be as a caretaker if you cooking like that. Chad cannot cook at...
That plate looked like Kraft macaroni and cheese at the box.
I don't know how chicken can look rawer than raw. And your
Did it have
canned
barbecue
corn.
sauce on it?
This is why Michelle don't eat.
That's why she's so
It
skinny,
didn't have no
girl.
sauce in it. It had no seasoning on it. Why it look slimy? Like you catch it out the ocean?
And then, yeah.
I try to let people step out of their stereotypes, but there was no seasoning on that. You know what it reminded me of? You know the memes on Twitter of like the pick me Twitter where they're like, cook your man this food, and it's like unseasoned, like uncooked chicken. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, he definitely needs some cooking classes, for sure.
They both in trouble.
He tried, though. But
He did. No,
this
and
is
the thought was... But this is why Michelle ain't eating. This is why she only drinking water.
She tell him everything else. You should be able to tell him, look, babe, this does not happen.
Babe, we're going to order in.
Yeah, we're going to take
We got
some
the coin.
culinary classes for our next date, okay?
So, one thing before we really jump into it, too, that was interesting to me, because I'm nosy, that this is Michelle's apartment. And I don't know, but like, I kind of love the humbleness of her apartment, but I'm also like, girl, you are Michelle Williams.
We need a penthouse suite with
That
the
kitchen.
glass open.
I mean, well, it don't even gotta be a penthouse. I mean, just like, but that kitchen, I'm like, I mean, I know she don't cook, so all she really needs is enough space to get to the microwave and the fridge. That kitchen was about the size of this table.
Yeah, but you know what? I was thinking about it because I was like, oh, that's cute. Like trying not to be shady with it. But I think with where she is with her mental health and everything, she doesn't need to be like frivolous in her living. Like I think she should be a little frugal, a little chill. Like, don't not go over her means because she obviously has the coin for it. But I think simple, like
It looks super dated.
yeah.
I think this is her, personality. She's a frugal person. So,
Yeah.
I mean, she's not going to be the one that's going to go and get a place in Bel Air, even though now she's talking to Chad about where they're going to move next. But at least it'll be a combined income. But I think she's just being smart about it because it's like you're not really working unless you really want to. Like she said, it's 3 things she loves doing. She loves, singing. She loves doing talk shows, and she loves her other business.
Home decor line.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
so.
I do love a good rustic glam. I'm all here for
Yes.
that.
I also think she just like knows that this is not her permanent spot.
Yeah.
She's trying to move in with her man because I don't think it's a matter of like her not having money. I think she has the
No,
money.
for sure.
But I think why are you gonna sit here and put all this effort into a place when you're about to move in with your man? Because in her mind, she's trying to get in there pretty quick.
But there's nothing wrong with being frugal because that's how the rich stay richer.
That's true. No, for sure. I mean, my parents taught me that too. Like, and a lot of the people that my mom's an accountant, so we work with multi-million billionaires, and you'd gag at how some of them come into the office, or even where some of them live. You'd be like, wait, what?
Right.
But this kitchen, though, I just was looking at this kitchen looking like a dorm.
Wait,
A
is that the
little.
one she moved out of?
This is the kitchen.
Yeah.
This is their kitchen. This is where he was cooking. All right, let's talk about it. So, speaking of babies and wanting to move forward, we saw at the beginning of episode 4, George and Michelle talking about immaculate conception. That was funny.
Yeah.
And we get into the theme of having a double life, going from bootylicious to Biblelicious, being that first lady, which is a weird title too. Like, I just think it is strange. Like, hello. I also think it's strange, or maybe they're in LA though.
I don't think it's strange just because it's like it's a prestigious title. So when you're the woman of the church, you have to carry yourself almost like a first lady of the United States, because you can't be out here with, like how Melania Trump, when they were crucifying her with the naked pictures, Playboy pictures, like she's now first lady. So I guess we're more lenient now, but however, that wasn't the original look of a first lady.
But I think I almost think it's interesting that she has to separate the two, because I grew up in the church. I was a church kid. I feel like it would have been cool to see the first lady of the church been someone who was relatable. I feel like Michelle, because of her bootylicious past and whatnot. Not that Michelle really was even that wild, because Destiny's Child wasn't that crazy or anything like that. But I think it makes her more relatable. I feel like I want her to find empowerment in both and not have to feel like she's choosing one or the other.
But you know how people are in the church, very judgmental, and they're like, "Oh, she had on some little booty shorts."
Well, that's why y'all numbers are going down. So.
I don't know.
She had met up with First Lady Nicole and Maisha, and she wanted some First Lady advice. And at first, she felt a little uncomfortable with what she was wearing herself, the skirt. And I like that these other two women were sitting there like, "Girl, you fine?" Like, it's more about like not really what you're wearing, but how you carry yourself in what you're wearing. Because I looked at that dress, I'm like, "Girl, you tripping?" I felt like she was just trying to like be like, "Ooh, sorry, I came dressed like this." But I also thought it was funny that then she brought up the R&B thing and how her best friend is married to a pastor and would wear wigs going to R&B concerts and whatnot. And I think it was Nicole who said she does not go to R&B concerts because she said she doesn't feed. What was the word she used?
The devil side.
Basically, like
secular.
Yeah, I'm not feeding your fall, basically. And so it's interesting to me because it's like I wonder if that conversation. Well, girl, what you really think about me then? Like, what if Destiny's Child comes back and we got to do a reunion tour? Like, are y'all gonna judge my church? Are you gonna judge me as a woman? Like, because I got to go up and perform bootylicious?
See, that's my thing about church. Like, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God. I believe in the universe and all things good and all that. However, I have experienced personally where I've gone to church and they've just been like those older ladies. Like, they're not deacons. What are the ushers or something?
No, they're deacons.
Oh, see, I went to a Greek Orthodox church, so it was very different.
Well, this is Baptist, Kojic. Like, I've gone to different Christian churches. So they were very judgmental. They was like, I missed church one Sunday, and they were like, "Oh, what you doing back here?" Ma'am, I was busy. Like,
I wasn't judging like you are, sis.
So it's kind of hard for me to kind of like wanna be in that inner circle, because it's like you're preaching love, and I feel like another thing, even with like pastors, like they're preaching the word of God. However, they're cheating on their wives or they're doing things that they shouldn't do. And I'm not saying Chad has, because we don't know about anything like that, but there are some that are doing that.
It's funny too, because like for me, the thing that kind of pushed me away from going to church for a little while, like I recently have started to go back, is I was about to receive communion, and I had just got my ears pierced. And this is before I like really was out, like, or anything like that, even before I lost my virginity. And the priest said to me, as he's about to give me the communion, he stops, he goes, "You got ears? What, do you want to be a girl?" I'm like, "You about to put Jesus' blood and body inside of me, and that's what you just stopped?
Right.
You was judging me, you stopped, and then had made a comment in the middle of this
religious
sacred situation."
ceremony.
I was like, I'm rethinking this right now.
Yeah, I just think like for every Bible verse that people want to throw at you for whatever sin they feel that you're committing, there's 6 more Bible verses about not judging your neighbor and loving your neighbor. And so I really want, I don't know, I just like...
There's a way to teach without judging.
Exactly. And I feel like what causes me to stumble may not cause you to stumble. And instead of trying to make this whole like Jesus is a one size fits all type of thing where everyone has to do the same things to have a connection with him, how about focus on like your own personal journey and lead by example, because people can see the authenticity of your walk with God rather than this is how I do it, so you need to do it.
What y'all think about online church? Because that's what I've been doing lately.
I know some people that like for me, like online, anything like that, like schooling, church, I don't have the attention span. Like I need to smell a church. I need to be like, for me to be focused, because otherwise I'm sitting there, I'm listening, and the wrong dead air, I'm like, well, scrolling on Instagram. I don't dare pull my phone out at church.
Factual.
Won't. You'll catch me like peeking it out the side of my pant, like, what's
somebody text you?
No, not even when someone texts. Just to look at, peek a quick time. Like, all right, we got like 3 more hours. Because Greek Orthodox churches be long.
But I mean, I'm a podcast church listener, so I feel like
I do like when I'm driving. Yeah, I will do that.
I feel like because I'm like super, like I have 0 time to myself ever, so I feel like that's like my time where I can just like plug it in and like I'm good. But I feel like, especially now more than ever, we're seeing that like it comes in many shapes, sizes. You know, like your relationship with God is yours and it's meant to be customized. And like I feel like now more than ever is the perfect opportunity to have someone like Michelle be a first lady of the church, because she's kind of like
relatable.
Yeah,
she could bring people to the church. Then they got into this discussion about like, well, okay, you don't go to the R&B concert, but like, do you turn it on when you and your man? And Nicole talking about, she was like, oh, I don't listen to music at all when we're making love. I mean, would you turn the TV on? Like, can we get like some Days of Our Lives or something on in the back? Something, you know what I mean?
I don't know.
No, because it can't be something good, because then I'm like looking at it. Like, I'm like watching like, and like even infomercials, I can't, because I'm like, oh, what's that? Like, I ain't watching Days of Our Lives.
So
just turn that.
Being a faithful worshiper of the Lord Jesus Christ, does that mean you have to be boring in life? I mean, you're married, you're doing the right thing, so does that mean I can't do... I don't know.
I'm not going to judge her because, like, I don't know her story. I don't know her walk. So I'm not going to judge if she can't listen to, like, secular music or whatever. Because I know people who are like that.
Well, you can listen to jazz. It doesn't have to be secular.
They don't have to be lyrics, but, like, you know,
jazz
mood.
But I just feel like, I don't know.
I'm like, you just imagine just dead here, like...
I think at the same time, life is meant to be enjoyed, and I feel like God isn't like a... I mean, the big thing that they really push is that he's a loving God, so I feel like he would want you to enjoy life in some shape or form. So, like, dry missionary sex does not sound appealing. I don't think he made all these things just for you to...
Yeah, right, we're going to experience... Like the movie Ghost. Like, all right.
So do you think that if you're in a loving, God-loving couple, what is it?
Relationship?
Yeah. So we're Chad and Michelle, we're pastor, first lady. Can we get handcuffs? Can we get, like, whipped cream?
No, that's the devil. Now, whipped cream, I don't see nothing wrong with eating and making love, but I'm just like, a handcuff, we might get...
I don't see... There is nowhere in the Bible that says...
I mean, you know, a little kink.
There is nowhere in the Bible where it says, thou shalt not pipe it down. And so, therefore... I think
that's your husband, you know.
That's your husband. You've been waiting for it.
You gotta get the kids somehow.
I think Michelle will be ready for that, because the way she was talking, she was like...
They need to have sex. Like, second season when they're married is gonna be so turned.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited. Chad gonna be a new man. I will love Chad after he has sex.
She doesn't even want people in the house. That's how she's ready to get it in.
Look, Michelle can't stop twerking and shaking her, moving her body. Like,
right, even at yoga, she learned how to twerk.
You can't have a song like Cater to Me and tell me that you don't be popping it one time. No, you know what I'm saying? Real. Like, we know, Michelle.
Oh, no, Michelle be getting it down. But now I do like that it's like, okay, we've had it in our lives before, but now we're going to focus and we're not going to fall into that temptation. So we see Chad, he says that basically in this episode, he wants to focus on his career because he feels like he's been focused on Michelle's health for so much. And they're talking about like getting back on track. Michelle's got meetings, photo shoots, and everything lined up. Chad wants to start his own ministry. Also, Chad decided to bring back the wallet chain. I'm like, well, is this 1997? Like, all right, love that. We found out about Relevé International, which is his little like camp thing that he does. So that was cool. We also found that Michelle was more vocal about Believe, her home decor line, which is cool, and I really want to smell her candles because I'm a candle person.
I love candles too.
I'm like, does it
Can we
have
get some candles, Michelle?
does it have a good throw? Because don't let me go buy, because I'm sure it's expensive, but don't let me go buy your candle and it don't have a good throw, because
Right.
I will throw it on out the door and we will talk about it
Back
on
to
this
my
show.
house
Okay.
don't smell like
We
honeysuckles
need
or
some
something.
product
I
placement
want it.
here on the show.
Okay, next week we'll dim these lights down. We'll just have a whole.
Yes.
They seen what I did with the dollar store candles.
Okay.
Yes, that
You gotta
part.
show your
Baby,
your
I will make it look cute. All right, so then they go find an assistant. And we meet Lucretia and Martwan. And
I was feeling Martwan from the jump. Like I was like, yeah, he'll be a good assistant. The other lady, she was really nice.
no,
but
I
it
felt like she just was like Destiny's Child.
yeah, yeah. Basically.
Sell my bows. Michelle ain't putting a bow in her hair. Maybe on the
he
back of
was
her dress.
The
but-
guy was about his business, so they made a good choice.
Yeah. And I also, what I really did like is that he's married and he kept relating in that sense. Like,
But that's the thing about being an assistant. It's kind of hard to be married and have
Yeah,
your
that
own
is
life
interesting.
because you're really taking on these people's life, and now you're doing Michelle and Chad, so you're taking on two people's
Yeah.
lives. So
well, how
how's
do you
that
feel
gonna
about
work?
them having one assistant together?
So I was an assistant to a entertainment lawyer, and then her husband was a CEO of like this Fortune 500, and it was a lot because a lot of times it their requirements conflicted each other, and it can get really messy, especially like if they're not agreeing on situations. Because when you become someone's assistant, like you become a part of the family.
You were
essentially.
them, yeah.
Yeah, and you see everything, everything. So.
You ever sign an NDA?
Huh? Yes. So I can't tell you what I saw, but I can tell you see everything. And yeah, it's a little tricky. I feel like each of you should have your own personal assistant because it's a lot.
Well, no,
especially-
but he's talking about it's already hard for him. He feels like he's carrying a lot for her. So it's like, have your own thing. Mm-hmm. And then also him getting her on the whole workout thing, like, that's your thing, Chad. Like, let Michelle have her thing. Like, y'all
Right.
trying to, like, build each other and have, well, you do. Like, Michelle ain't like, well, you gonna be singer? Let's be the new Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, no, you do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing. We then saw Chad go to his one-on-one therapy. And here's where my whole downfall for Chad. I'm just like, you over here worrying about Michelle. You need to be worrying about yourself because I'm not coming to your ministry until season 3.
that part. That part.
He's like, Michelle's what's her name? Dr.
Tama.
She said something dope. She was like, he kept saying that, like, well, you know, I feel like I'm running because of Michelle's depression. She said, well, basically, no, Michelle's depression is making you actually have to face your truth, yourself. And you've never had to confront your truth before because you're always helping other people confront theirs.
Yeah.
And you can't minister people if you haven't walked the walk and talked the talk.
Exactly. We're not expecting him to be like all put together
Yeah,
completely because
at
no
all.
person is. But you need to have, especially if you're building a house of God, you need to have a solid foundation, and yours isn't solid. It's going to crumble. And I don't like that he deflects his own issues by he deflects on other people.
On her.
On her especially. I just these 2 episodes, I had a lot of issues when I was stressed, honey, because I was like, whoa, let's slow this down. Because
But it goes back to being in a relationship. You need to be whole yourself before you get in there. Like doing all this work after the fact is kind of the hard part. You don't want to miss out on love and just say, oh, I'm not ready. And you meet somebody that you think is perfect for you, but you do need to get it together. Like Michelle is putting all this pressure on him, and he is finding out issues that he doesn't even know that he has. You know,
And I think that's why he's saying, like, let's do the work. Like, because now he's realizing, like, shit, I got some work I got to do myself. I just posted something today. It's funny that these stories are that, but it said, be your own peace. Don't be my peace. Be your own peace so that you don't mess with my peace. So that we can just yin and yang flow together. Because I think it's like now you're starting to find yourself.
So do you feel like if you find someone that you like and you're not all the way together, you got some issues, you gonna stop it or you gonna?
I think there's a difference between being whole and having self-awareness. I don't expect anyone to be completely whole because I think life's a journey and you, like different chapters of your life, you consistently have to learn new things. I think you can go into a situation not being completely whole, but have self-awareness of where you need to work on it.
Oh, for sure. And I think that what I do love about this, and we see in episode 5, where they go to meet up with the pastor and his wife, is that it's when this, a lot of times when couples, you guys go through something, the first thing to do is be like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
He did what? You know, but then I look back at like my parents or my grandparents and like, not really my parents, because my parents are like a whole another my story. I'd just be looking at them. I'd be like trying to break them up. I'd be like, Dad, do you really love Mom like that? Like this is sickening.
Yeah,
like y'all really y'all really just I'm so messy with them. Maybe my mom don't even get it, but my dad be like, Jesse. But my grandparents, like, they went through a lot of stuff, and you know, the one thing is like, we made a commitment, and we made a commitment to, you know, now if it's physical and things like that and you have to remove yourself, there are things and like that you can deal with. But for the most part, like someone stepping out or someone, even just with this little thing, like you guys are arguing because the thermostat, like, no, instead of arguing, you can see, and I think this is the first episode I see like real tension on Michelle's face and even his face, like when the other one says something. And I think it's important that this show is actually showing like, look, we have issues. Chad's finding things out he didn't know about himself, because Michelle is aware, self-awareness, and now Chad's becoming that. But at the same time, it's like they're still willing to stay there and work on their problems and talk and communicate. And communication is so important.
Was she honest with him saying in the beginning that she had depression? So, like, just say you have some kind of condition, whether cancer or STD or something, and you have to disclose it to your significant other. You have to disclose the depression too.
Oh, baby, don't do it after, because let me catch something.
You catch these hands.
You'll catch these
real
hands.
quick.
So you have to let people know. Did we get the impression that she let him know up front?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so. I think
he didn't
it's easy to be
understand it.
like, yeah, oh, I'm depressed, and then that person not understand it. Because I've been in a relationship before where they didn't understand what depression was, and I'm like, when she said like, it's a big thing for me to wake up and just like be
Get
like,
out of
thank
bed.
you for this day.
Yeah.
That's work for someone who's going through depression. I've been through it too many times, and I've been with somebody who doesn't understand it, and they wake up in the morning, they did 50 things. I'm like, well, I'm cooked breakfast.
Right. I barely ate breakfast.
Okay.
So yeah, and then meeting with these people that they're meeting with to get advice, I think that's great. They met with some really great people on multiple occasions.
I think it's good Chad went to that first ministry. It was the Antioch one. You know, because it's like, now you did your one-on-one. Now you went to this church. You're doing it on your own. You're working on your own. This is for you. You know what I mean? Then when you come home, you have the energy to open that can of corn and do whatever you did with that chicken, and give her the grapes. That's why she was eating the grapes.
That's why she's eating the grapes.
Like, that's all you want, baby?
I just wanted something sweet.
Thank you.
That's what she said.
I'm good. I'm good with savory. I'm good right now. What else we said? We saw the photo shoot. Loved it. Everything about it.
yeah.
Michelle looked amazing.
Did that.
All right, Chad, also, you cannot decorate the house because, first of all, you bought a statue that looked like a penis. Like, that wire, it literally had 2 balls and a shaft. I was like, Chad,
Men do not decorate. I'm not being sexist, but we just
Straight
like,
man.
leave that to the women.
I was going to say, because we just saw Jesse's apartment.
Oh,
He
yeah,
did that.
I forgot.
Straight man cannot decorate. But love the thought process of it.
It was cute.
I also didn't really realize that they weren't living with each other.
I did remember when they the first episode, he was saying, "Oh, you know, I'm gonna sleep on the couch." You know, they were looking for furniture
yeah.
and stuff like that. So
They don't.
we know they're being celibate and they're sticking to
They
it.
sleep in the bed. You don't.
think
I don't. Yes,
they
I
get
do
some
not.
cuddles.
I think they. Yeah, I believe they cuddle. Now I don't. Now I'm going to take their word when they say they do not have sex.
Yeah.
So they
will
dry
take that.
humping.
Because they
Well, remember?
they
Well-
too stressed out to like be having sex. Like they're not having
No,
sex.
if they're having sex, baby, they be in that therapy session like.
They be like, whatever. He got on my nerves, but he cute.
I love him. I love him.
I love him.
Ain't no feeling like being free. And then he bought the funeral arrangement. Like, we ain't doing that. So we hear they're driving to their therapy session, and she said something like, okay, well, let's get married this year. And he was like a few months later, and the Christmas thing came up. And they have very different opinions about what kind of wedding they want. I think he wants something a little smaller, more intimate. I think she's like, this is the party of my life. How do you balance that? The woman always kind of gets what she needs. Like, the wedding is for the woman, I believe.
I think so too. And I think they are different in a lot of different ways. So this isn't just the first thing that they're different in. So I think they're pretty good at compromising. I don't think it'll be a big issue. I think Chad will just be like, okay, babe, whatever you want.
Are they good
But
at
can we get
compromising?
Butterfinger cake? That's all I want. All I want is he just say
think
something
so.
stupid, and she'd be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Be like, just a Butterfinger cake. That's all I ask
It's not
for.
Butterfinger.
I know. I
You can
just
have
tried to
two
think of
cakes.
something stupid.
I cannot.
So they go to therapy, and it's funny because the therapist said it, and it's the first thing I noticed. When Michelle's walking into it, I was like, Michelle got herself a little booty all of a sudden.
she
She's
ate
putting some weight on, so she's looking good. Now, I know this is where you're going to go in. Chad feels Michelle ain't doing the bare minimums. He feels like she's not going to the gym. We know why she's not eating. And he doesn't understand her waking up and just being happy and how that's an accomplishment. Where do you think he needs to do the work for that?
I think he needs to, I think he very much wants Michelle to go at the pace he wants her to go at and doesn't understand. I don't think he truly has a grasp on how serious depression is. As someone who grew up with a parent who had serious depression, like, there are days where they just won't get up. And it's not them trying to be selfish. It's not, like, it is a chemical imbalance. Like, it is a physical thing. It's not something that people make up. It is an illness. And just like any other illness, some days your body is not going to put in the work. Mm-hmm. And so, like, it bothers me because I feel like, especially in episode 5, I feel like Chad was gaslighting her a lot and undermining accomplishments of hers. And just because
I love they use the word gaslighting because people don't know about that. That's
yeah,
a real thing.
like, he gaslights her a lot, and and it almost makes it feel like a lot of the things he said made it come off like she was a burden to him. And this whole, I'm a caretaker. But it's like, she didn't ask you to be that.
And in therapy, realize why you feel that way because of your past.
Well, when he spoke on it later, when they met up, he was saying, and she brought it up, he said he didn't mean it like that. He meant that he wanted to take care of her, that he felt responsible while he was doing it. So, I mean, he took on...
But reword it, though. Then say, I feel like I've been so focused on this, I need to find ways to fit in my schedule what I want to accomplish.
I think it was just the connotation that she took it under, because he still said it was, caretaker, but he felt like that was something good. Like, I'm willing to take care of you, so what's wrong with that?
But I don't think she's out of pocket for feeling like, what the hell? Because I took it like that. There's a lot of things that Chad says on this show that he'll then go back and be like, well, I didn't mean it like that, and will almost imply that it's silly of her
That's how
to...
most men are.
Silly of her to... But it doesn't mean it's okay. Like, you...
Like, first of all, caretaker is the wrong word. Like, you make me sound like I'm a crippled.
Right.
Like, I'm going to roll
Like,
on out.
she's not 78 years old. You're not, like,
She's about to throw the blue
changing her
necklace
diaper.
into the ocean. Like.
Exactly. I think he always talks about wanting to lead the relationship. This is what frustrates me.
I wrote that same shit. 2 episodes ago, Chad. The leader.
Yeah.
But he's a man. He's
The baby lead.
The lead. Because
Lead.
this is my issue, especially when it comes to couples and church. The man is supposed to lead. The man is supposed to do this. The man is supposed to do that. Then you need to do the work that requires. I'm not going to lead somebody that I don't trust. I'm not going to lead somebody who I don't think is going to catch me when I fall. So if you're not going to do those things, then, I'm not going to listen to you. Like, I'm not going
he's doing it, though.
I don't.
No, because even when he met up with the pastor at the end, they asked about the way he did the pastor asked that on purpose.
He
said, look, when are you going to get married then? She wants it by the end of this year. You want to be the man, you want to be the leader, and you want to also work this out. To me, I would have respected Chad if he said, look, I'm learning a lot of stuff about myself. let's finish this year out and enjoy this engagement. And at the top of the year, let's get married. Like, let's get, like, if you're so in your head about this year, y'all are putting the work in.
Yeah.
There's no conversation about y'all not putting the work in. That's why y'all are at each other's throats right now.
Exactly.
So just say, create the date. Oh, I just want to make you happy. Okay, well, what about yourself? Like, he's, again, putting it on her.
Because what killed me is that he had this girl crying and, like, happy as hell. And then we get in the car, and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm actually not ready. That's not, like, let me tell you something. I'll be damned if I'm sitting here begging a man to marry me.
And that you just lied to the priest.
You just lied, like, you just had me out here crying, doing the Jesus saves happy dance. And now that we're in the car by ourselves.
Well, I think he did that because he didn't want to embarrass her in front of the
But
lady.
But you are, in the long run, you
leader.
are embarrassing. There are cameras around us all the time. Right
just
now.
national TV.
So now you look like you might
people.
lie about something.
That's what I'm saying. As a leader, as a man of God, as a pastor, blah, 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 blah. Like, your whole spiel is that you're honest and that, you're transparent and yada, yada, yada. And it's just like, it bothers me because you talk about how fragile and whatnot Michelle is, but then you put her in situations that are going to continue to keep her fragile. And I don't like that. That's not okay. And I love, like, I feel like Michelle's like a big sister almost. Like, when I watch her, I just want the best for her, and I just don't, at least right now in the show, because I don't know, like, obviously there's editing, and obviously, this has been a while back. I just don't know if Chad's that in this moment for me personally.
No, but then I said to myself, okay, let me not fully judge him, because if anyone that's what you want and that's your calling, cool. But know that, like, the reason you have always worked for other ministries is because you haven't worked on yourself in that way. And I think that this is the work now. And I interview a lot of reality stars, and the one thing they always say is, as crazy of an experience as it was, and as much as it was cringeworthy for them to watch themselves, they said there's nothing like watching yourself back on television where the producers are editing you and taking you, and you have to see yourself. And I think for him, being able to talk about these types of subjects and watching himself back, I think he will grow. And I do think it is cool to be on TV, because now you'll gain people to be on your journey and see your growth. And like I said, by season 3, you might be ready to start your little, group conversation in the church reception.
I just don't like that he almost blames the lack of his ministry on Michelle's depression and mental illness, because I feel like, no, baby, whether Michelle was here or not, you still have so many things you need to work on.
And clarify, I don't think he blames it on her. I think he blames it on working for other people and putting other people first, but he ties her to that.
I was going to say, I feel like, yes, but I feel like he makes her the spokesperson for the people he has to work for.
True. Yeah.
Like, she's the poster child for it. And I can only imagine someone who struggles with self-worth and struggles with depression and all these things, hearing that you're preventing, especially someone that you're madly in love with, that you're preventing them from achieving what they want, is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason Michelle's always like, oh, he wants this fairy tale, and I don't think I can keep up, because he's looking at her like she's a pop star. She's Destiny's Child. She's Michelle Williams. Like, I found the one. And he's thinking this in his mind, and he's like, but I got all these issues. We're in therapy. We got to go through this. I got to take care of her. And I feel like that's why she's feeling the pressure that she feels, that she can't amount to what he thinks of a pop star being married to something like that.
And I like that one first lady, I think it was a first lady, she said, I mean, there's nobody like you guys. You guys are a blank canvas, so anything you do moving forward is the picture that you're painting. I thought that was powerful. I wish he heard that too, actually.
Yeah. I don't want it to come off like I'm a Chad basher or I dislike Chad, because I think, I genuinely think he loves her.
Yeah.
I just think, like, a lot of times it's very easy to point out what's wrong with everybody else, and it's very hard to take a step back and, like, reflect and notice.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
And
I've been there.
Yeah, and it's especially easy when you have someone who's so open about their struggles to be like, yeah, you're right, you are messed up right there. And
I know, like, only a couple weeks after her being in a hospital.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I also know that this is production and they have to whatever. We got paint therapy. And I mean, it was therapy basically because the painter was reading them off their painting, which
sure.
Chad did very well.
I know he was definitely the winner.
Yeah. Do you feel like he makes things a competition though sometimes, or she does? Because I felt like, why are we even like, mine's better, mine's this, mine's that?
I think that's just the normal
That's a
thing.
little
Like
play.
if I go to Dave and Buster's with you, or if I go do painting with you, I'm gonna be like, oh, my picture's better. You know?
I feel like whenever someone says like just kidding, there's always truth in it. Like there's a small amount of truth.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, and so I think
You want to lighten the load.
He comes from an athletic background. Of course, it's competition.
I mean, I come from an athletic background, but I'm not like sitting here like I'm gonna do my taxes better than you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a level of his competition sometimes that I feel like is just him trying to exude this like masculinity. Like he keeps trying to go for this leadership thing, and I mean, it's obviously like the very least of their problems, but it's just like little things like that. Then I'm like, baby, I need you to focus on you as well. Like, chill a little bit.
Chill. I want to end the episode by talking about Michelle's music, though. We saw her finally in the recording studio, and I love the honesty about her in Destiny's Child. And I really, honestly, that made me want a real documentary on them, but not like friends and family talking about. Like, I want the three of them to sit down and really, like, talk about, like, for her to say that she jumped on a moving train. So true. Because I remember when the Say My Name video came out, it was like, wait,
Who
are these girls?
Right.
You know, and she said, I never got to develop myself as an artist. She said, basically, I know she said in past interviews, I jumped into this relationship as knowing that I was the third wheel, and it wasn't about me. It was about us as a group to make the group look good. And she was cool with that. So I loved hearing her say that. And because I always questioned, I would listen to her music, and I'm just kind of like, for you to go straight from Bootylicious to gospel was a hard transition for me.
Well, I always knew that Michelle was a gospel one. Like, that was always like the way they marketed her.
Yeah.
I guess.
But I loved this song. It sounds actually dope. It sounds like her breakdown in Survivor.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the strongest. There are some other ones later in, what was the last album? Destiny Fulfilled.
Yeah.
That album was so strong with Michelle.
Slap.
Yeah.
But Fearless, I'm here for that.
Yeah, I like it. I think that she is producing this uplifting music that doesn't necessarily have to
Throw
be religious.
Jesus in, yes.
Doesn't necessarily have to be, but it's uplifting. It's almost like, you remember when R. Kelly made that I Believe I Can Fly? You know, he made
Yes.
the little freaky songs, but then he made I Believe I Can Fly. So I think she can do the same thing. It's not as extreme as R. Kelly,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean?
I'm very excited to get to know Michelle musically, just because, like you said, she did jump onto a moving train, because Kelly and Beyonce have been doing it together for forever. Like
And Kelly was putting albums. She had Dilemma. And,
Exactly. But they grew up together. You know what I'm saying? Like they bonded. They had a sisterhood. Not saying that there wasn't some sort of sisterhood with Michelle, but there's years
Before
that. Like she, like no matter how much time she spends with them, there's just a certain level of intimacy that she's never gonna have with them. And so it almost makes sense that it was more Kelly and Beyonce's sound than it was Michelle. So I'm excited to see her kind of get to take a step back and like evaluate who she is musically, what she liked about Destiny's Child, what she likes from her own sound, and kind of combine the two and see what happens. I'm excited about this new song.
all right, so let's get into a little news and gossip.
Oh, yes. I got a little bit.
What you got? I got one too.
So, seems like Michelle is getting back to work. She's getting out of her shell. She's headed back to Broadway. She just went back on November the 30th. She's on Once on This Island. She's basically in this Tony Award winning play. She's playing Urzuli. And she's basically, it's a musical. So, I don't know.
I've heard great things about that musical too.
Really?
Oh,
Because
really?
Alex Newell's in it, and it's like, I've heard the soundtrack, and I'm like, okay, like I need to go see this. I'm very
Really?
excited
So
for
this
this.
isn't her first time. She actually was on The Color Purple. She did a stint in Chicago,
I was gonna say she-
and
I'm in Chicago.
and Aida. How did I say it?
Aida.
Aida.
I remember. Actually, I lived in New York when she did that.
Okay.
That's going on, and then also I just saw her and Chad released. There's this app called YouVersion Bible app, and so they have a Bible plan that you can get on the app, and it's about building a foundation.
Okay.
So all right,
I'm gonna check it out.
I'm into that.
I'll check it out.
We kind of had to pack a lot of information in this episode. We were going to play a little game, but I'll save it for next week. But on that note, let's head into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
It's so funny because anytime I see, like, I'm on a gossip site and I see anything for this show, I'm like, I'm not clicking. This is clickbait. Like, y'all, you guys got good lives. Just enjoy it. Like, because I feel like even this show be clickbait. Like when she be like, they'll and go to commercial like, so what are you saying? You don't want to marry me? And then it goes, oh, come on, y'all. We know he's gonna say yes. It's just gonna take him 5 minutes to get to that. You're like, well, I was just thinking about this. Yes. Bitch, just say yes. We know you struggle busing. We know. Next week we see George and Chad have a conversation. Seems a little heated. Now don't tell the gay best friend. Oh, what do you think your role? My role is checking you. And I'll check my friend if she needs to be checked, but I'm checking you.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I'm her voice.
Prediction-wise, he's getting checked. Chad is going to be known that, Michelle has someone in her life that has her back. Not, just like Chad has his brother and his dad, and who else has she met? The sister.
Look, Michelle had to deal with your sister. You're going to deal with George.
Right. So now it's time to deal with George, okay?
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I love George. I think Chad needs a little humble pie.
Yeah.
So go on, George, serve it up.
Can Michelle co-pastor a church and be Michelle Williams?
Yes.
I think so because it's been a lot of controversy with Megan Good and her husband. And I feel like one time she wore a dress on the red carpet and it was like her cleavage was out and they were like, you're not a first lady. And
actually, I am.
Yeah.
And they also did a panel discussion at the church and like this lady got up in the audience and was like, she dresses like a floozy and and he defended her in front of the congregation. So I feel like as long as Chad holds her down, it'll be fine.
Jesus was on the cross in a towel.
Jesus was hanging out with prostitutes.
Alone.
Y'all need to stop playing.
No Jezebels allowed.
Okay. Michelle says she is done asking for a wedding date. Seems a little heated. Ooh, she done. And there's a part of me that's kind of like, good girl, like, just because I feel like here's the thing, because it's like, I do feel like Chad it's just very overbearing with Chad, but at the same time, it's like, Michelle, you just got the ring on it. Like, I know you running to want to get down on it, but I also do think
is it just
enjoy an engagement. I think in 2018, a lot of people don't take the time to actually enjoy. There is joy in engagement.
Do you think it's because they're not having sex? She needs it.
I
think that's what it is.
Because I don't know if you guys watch Love After Lockup. Have you ever seen that show?
Lockup? No.
It's coming back, y'all, December 7th on WeTV, and it's everything.
Love
it's a
After
mess.
Lockup?
It's people who meet people
in jail.
Yes. But through like websites. So one of them's not in jail and the other one is. But there was this woman, there's two actually, where one was a Mormon, the other girl is a virgin. And they're like rushing everything just so that they can lay with each other and all this stuff and live with each other and all that. And it's like, I'd prefer for you guys to actually live with each other before marriage. And if you still can continue not having sex, but I'd actually prefer for you guys to do that than jump into a actual commitment.
Yeah, because you're going to be mad when you rush and get married and it's not good.
Yeah. And it's like right now, if you're mad at him for even questioning certain things, like, okay, top of the year, I'm going to bring it back up in January.
Do you think that has something to do with her age? Because it's like, if I'm 37, I'm 40 or whatever, and it's like, I need to get married. Like, how long does it take to make those decisions?
Yeah, but right now, girl, you gotta make the pie crust, girl, because your pie crust is looking a little weak. Both of their pie crusts are looking a little weak, so we can't have the pudding pie.
We can't have bread pudding.
Well, all right, guys, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know what you guys think. Write down in the comments. Hit subscribe to AfterBuzz, a reality, a YouTube page. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you guys think. Do you guys think Chad's a little overbearing? Were we Chad bashing a little bit? Or what do you guys think about Michelle's new music? Hit us up at AfterBuzz TV across all social media platforms. You guys can hit me up at DJ Jesse J.
And I'm Miss Conversation Piece. Me and George, we got your back, Michelle. So you guys can tweet me at Miss Combo Piece or Instagram me at Conversation Piece.
And I'm your girl, Drew Jones. You can follow me on all the things at OK Drew J. And we'll be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta show later. So come hang out with us.
Till next week, same time, same place. Peace.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.